They say that life is far better with friends, a phrase that doesn't just end with humans. That is why some animal species have found ways to rely on each other for food, shelter, and protection, regardless of how different they are. In today's video, we will share with you 20 animal relationships that truly have to be seen to be believed. Make sure you stick around until the very end. Some of these bizarre animal friendships will sound like they have come straight out of a Disney movie. 20. Water buffalo and cattle egrets. It's common knowledge that large birds forage on their own out in the forest, but cattle egrets, which are small white birds, have learned to survive by making friends with an unusual ally. By staying close to water buffalo and other large grazing animals, they're able to fly down and collect the insects that try and feast on the large beasts. To take things further, they also perch on the back of a buffalo and peck them clean of any ticks or fleas that could infect them with deadly diseases. So, what's in it for the larger animals? Well, egrets are more sensitive to their surroundings, which means that they raise the alarm when predators and hunters are approaching, urging the beasts to flee. 19. Carrion beetles and mites. Not all creatures are fussy about what they have for dinner. Take the carrion beetle, for example, who thrive on eating dead animals. They also lay their eggs in the corpse so that their larvae have an instant meal the second they hatch. Although that is disgusting, they are not the only insects to use this trick, and oftentimes, larvae that grow faster will eat the carrion beetle's eggs to reduce competition. This is where their good friend the mites come into things. When carrion beetles travel to their next meal, they carry mites on their backs, giving them a free ride to an all-you-can-eat buffet. In return, the mites swarm the corpse the second they arrive and eat all other eggs and larvae that don't belong to the beetle. This way, both the carrion beetles and the mites get to walk away with very full stomachs, and the eggs of the beetle are protected. 18. Chicken and puppies. Chickens and dogs are two animals that you would want to be locked in a room alone. Well, that's not the case with our next entry. After suffering a foot injury, Mabel the chicken was brought into her owner's house to recover. While there, however, Mabel made an unlikely connection with a litter of newly born Rottweiler puppies. When the puppy's mother needed a break after nursing, Mabel hopped on top of the litter to keep them warm beneath her wings. Do you have a pet at home that is super friendly with other animals? Tell us all about them in the comment section below. 17. Ostriches and zebras. Zebras and ostriches are typically prey for larger and faster animals. Because of this, they both have a heightened sense of being alert to danger. The big problem is that zebras, despite having excellent eyesight, don't really have a good sense of smell. Ostriches, on the other hand, have a great sense of smell, but not so great eyesight. So, in a streak of animal kingdom genius, the two species make sure that they stick together to utilize each other's gifts. Now, that definitely sounds like a great trade-off. 16. Woodpeckers and tree ants. Sometimes the friendships between some animals just can't be explained. Take woodpeckers and ants, for example, who are natural enemies, feeding off each other in one way or another. Things get strange in the spring when rufous woodpeckers are ready to lay their eggs. Instead of picking a spot where predators would struggle to reach, they purposely lay their eggs inside the nest of the black tree ant. In fact, the tree ants even carve out a little hole for the eggs to be placed. While the woodpecker keeps a watchful eye on her young, the woodpecker and the ants will not attack one another while the eggs are waiting to hatch. Once born, the mother woodpecker travels in and out of the nest freely to feed her young. Some scientists think that it's the scraps of food that fall out of the nest that the ants enjoy, but no definitive answer has been found yet. 15. Colombian lesser black tarantulas and humming frogs. It would be fair to assume that Colombian lesser black tarantulas don't eat the humming frog because it doesn't like the taste. But there is actually a far more complicated and clever reason for it. These specific spiders and frogs have been found living in the same area and even discovered in the very same burrows as one another. The reason why these species have chosen to become roommates is because the spider protects the frog from predators, as well as leave them leftovers, and the frog eats the ants and insects that like to feast on the tarantula's eggs. Now that sounds like a cozy arrangement to me. If you think that the tarantula and the humming frog have a crazy partnership, just wait until you see number 3 on our list. You really won't believe what two animals have teamed up. 14. Oxpecker birds and zebras. The oxpecker bird is another creature that likes to hang out with zebras. They prefer to hang around on the back of the stripy beast and eat the ticks and parasites that annoy zebras. This means that the zebras are free of any pesky pests gnawing at their skin, and the birds get an infinite supply of food. What is more, the oxpecker's increased alertness means that they can warn the zebra when it senses a predator creeping up on their friend. It is in the oxpecker's best interest to keep it alive after all. 13. Egyptian crocodiles and plovers. The Egyptian plover bird might be small, but it has the courage of a lion. These little guys spend most of their time perching inside the open mouths of crocodiles so that they can get a meal. They do this by picking the leftover bits that are stuck in between the crocodile's teeth, while the huge reptile just sits and waits until it's ready to go get its own midday snack. So why would the croc not eat the plover bird? Well, it's because the beast gets to have a routine dental checkup that prevents diseases from forming in its gums, making the plover the dental floss of the animal kingdom. 12. Gray wolves and hyenas. Even though hyenas normally hunt alone, scientists were surprised to discover hyenas hunting in wolf packs in southern Israel a couple of years ago. Although these two creatures are completely contrasting and in theory would be enemies, the relationship between them is extremely beneficial for both. Hyenas get to take advantage of wolves' impressive hunting skills, while the hyena's strong sense of smell and ability to break large bones and rip through garbage helps the wolves out in return. Like packs of wolves and hyenas, here at Forever Green, we like to build our family. If you would like to join us, just hit that red subscribe button and ring the notification bell. That you will never miss one of our future videos. 11. Honey badgers and honey-guide birds. As their name may imply, honey-guide birds enjoy eating honey. Although they can find fresh honey, there is one major problem. They have to get it from an active beehive. Their solution may sound a little crazy, but it definitely works. They lure a mammal who loves honey just as much as they do. The honey badger breaks open the beehive and grabs their dinner, leaving the rest of the honey for the honey guides to eat up. This genius move would be the equivalent of inviting a chef to your house to cook dinner for themselves, as long as they prepare a portion for you too. 10. Dog and wild fox. Whether or not you've seen the Disney classic The Fox and the Hound, you'll love the story of Teeny the dog and Sniffer the wild fox, two unlikely friends coming from two vastly contrasting habitats. Teeny lives with his owner, Torgeir Berge, who also happens to be a professional photographer. One day, when the two were taking a stroll through the forests of Norway, they met a wild fox that Berge named Sniffer. Despite the thousands of years of breeding and domestication between the two, Teeny and Sniffer became the best of friends. Now, Berge follows the cute couple around so that he can get the perfect photo opportunities of the adorable couple. Both the fox and dog share the same DNA from their ancient ancestors, so it's understandable why they look similar. Well, our number 1 pick might have one very distinctive feature in common, but they happen to be vastly different species. Make sure you stick around to the very end to find out more about them. 9. Grouper and eel. Groupers are fish that feed on smaller fish, but their prey often escapes by hiding in small holes. Their solution to combat this pesky problem is to use a special set of gestures that command moray eels into the holes to flush their hiding prey out. Although this sounds like the groupers are just being bossy, the moray eels don't seem to mind. Maybe they are just happy to have a friend that is even uglier than them. 8. Crabs and urchins. The ocean is a weird and dangerous place. Because of this, some smaller creatures have to come up with inventive ways to stay safe. Take one type of crab that carries a fire sea urchin on its back through Indonesian Sea. The crabs do this so often, in fact, that they have been named urchin crabs. The reason they do this is because the urchin are extremely poisonous, which protect the crab from predators, even using their sharp needles as a weapon. While playing the protector role, the urchin has a way to travel around the seafloor. If you think that the crab and the urchin have a great friendship, click the thumbs up button. 7. Coyotes and badgers. Some animals don't mind crossing enemy lines if it is to work toward the greater good. For example, coyotes and badgers often team up to take down their prey to ensure it cannot escape. If the prey is running above ground, the coyote chases it. If the prey tries to disappear down a hole, the badger takes over. This creates a nightmare for prairie dogs and ground squirrels, but is a dream for coyotes and badgers. Even though they're actually competing for food, it's still a win, as they both conserve energy as they take it in turns at being the chaser. 6. Pistol shrimp and gobies. Pistol shrimp are fierce predators that have such a tight clawed grip that it causes a jet of water to spout out of it. But despite being good at catching prey, they are also very vulnerable to other predators as their eyesight is terrible. Because of this, pistol shrimp have developed a partnership with little fish called gobies that have a great eyesight that acts like the guide for the shrimp. The goby's tail fin stays connected to the shrimp's antennae so that the fish can signal when danger is near. In return, the gobies are allowed to hide in the shrimp's burrows when predators are close by. 5. The ant and the caterpillar. Lacinids are members of the butterfly species, whose caterpillars have a strange symbiotic relationship with ants. The caterpillars give out a sweet nectar which provides food for the ants. In return, the ants protect the caterpillar from predators. Although this may sound like a fair trade-off, it's actually very one-sided, as the ants don't rely solely on the caterpillar's food, but it's the nectar that manipulates their behavior to keep them sticking around. Think catnip for ants. Before we move forward, here is a short question for you. Out of the partnerships we've covered, which one was the most surprising? We would love to know in the comments section below. 4. The turtle and the cleaner fish. Some species of turtle and fish have developed a special friendship, with the fish ultimately becoming a cleaning station for the turtle. The cleaner fish will feast on the parasites and algae that have built up, leaving the turtle shell shiny and smooth. Of course, the fish gets a nice big meal out of the deal. It's now time for the subscriber pick section of the video, where we take a look at an image sent in to us by one of our subscribers. As you can see on the left side, a penguin and a seal seem to be celebrating together. Moments like this are very rare indeed, as the penguin is typically the prey for the seal. The other side of the image showing the cat and dog, however, is far more common, especially in domestic homes. The next entry on our list will take that relationship to a whole new level. 3. Cheetah and dog. Many people have cats and dogs living in harmony under one roof, despite the reputation of hating each other. Well, Cassie and Tawny, a cheetah and a dog, took that truce to the next level. When they were raised together at Busch Gardens in the US, when they were young, their strange relationship attracted many visitors. But as Cassie grew older, the cheetah grew more interested in female cheetahs. With that being said, the two remain good friends and still visit schools and appear together at the amusement park. 2. Sea anemone and clownfish. It's hard to imagine ocean anemone as predators, mainly because they look like weird space plants, rather than living creatures. In fact, they are one of the most poisonous creatures in the ocean, using its strange cell-covered tentacles to paralyze its prey and direct their lifeless bodies to its mouth. The only exception to the anemone's hunting pattern is the clownfish, in which it gives free rein around its tentacles. The reason for this is because the clownfish cleans them of algae buildup and allows the clownfish to hide when larger predators are hunting them. 1. A giraffe and an ostrich. Named Bee and Wilma, have made an unlikely friendship while living together at Busch Gardens. The two share a huge 65-acre enclosure together and by all account enjoy doing so. Maybe having a long neck in common is enough for these two vastly different creatures to become the best of friends. And that concludes our video on 20 unlikely friendships in the animal kingdom that benefit all involved. If you are still keen to watch some more unbelievable content, head over to one of our other interesting videos. You will not be disappointed.